Hi everyone, welcome back. Let's solve another SQL problem. Exchange seats. Problem number 626. Let's take a look at the problem statement. We're given a table called seat. This table has two columns. ID is the primary key, unique value for this table. Each row of this table indicates the name and the ID of a student. Alright, ID is a continuous increment. Our task is to write a solution to swap the seat ID of every two consecutive students. If the number of students is odd, the ID of the last student is not swapped. Return the result table ordered by ID in ascending order. Let's take a look at the example. Here in seat table, we have ID from 1 to 5. These IDs are continuous increment. Student Abbott, Doris, Emerson, Green, James. And our task is to swap the seat of every two consecutive. For number 1 is going to be Doris, and Doris is going to be Abbott. So for each couple, we swap their position. If the number of student is odd, the ID of the last student is not swapped. Alright, so here student ID number 5, James, he's the odd one out and he doesn't have any other pair to swap the position, the seat. So if it's not swapped, then we should leave this ID as is. Alright, let's solve this problem. So for this problem, my approach is first I will define which ID is even and which ID is odd. So for even ID, meaning ID mod 2 equal to 0. So for even ID, I will swap and I will assign the value student here with the previous value. For this value, I will swap and assign the value of the preceding value. So we do that for each pair. So in order to do that, I'm going to use lead and lag window functions. And if you're not familiar with window functions, you can watch my other videos. There are a lot of problems in this series that you will be using window functions a lot. And if you're not familiar with window functions, you can go to Google and look up window functions in SQL, or you can specify which window functions you want to understand. For example, there are lead, lag, and even aggregation window function, rank, row number, dense rank. There's many more, and the best way to get used to this window function is by practicing and by solving the SQL problem. So now I'm going to use the lead and lag window functions to solve this problem. So I'm going to select, we need to select the ID, right? And for student, this is where we need to put the window functions in, the lead and lag, but we also have to write a condition using case when. Case when is like an if condition. So for the case when ID mod 2 equal to 0, meaning that the IDs are even, then we'll return lag student right over. We are not going to partition by, but we will need order by ID, right? So that is one case. And another case is when the ID is not even, meaning odd. So else we are going to return the lead. So for Doris, the lead value is Abbott. So else lead student over, and we also order by ID, and we call this column student from seat table. Okay, so let's run this. Alright, so as you can see, my output so far is pretty good. So we have ID 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Doris is now ID number 1, Number 2 is Abbott. Number 3, instead of Emerson, is Green. And number 4 is Emerson. But for number 5, if there's no pair, there's no lead value for number 5 for James, we will return the value as is. So it's gonna be, we have to handle the null value here. We're gonna do if null. So if this value, if student is null, right, we are going to return the student name as is, student, and we call this column student. All right, so let's submit that again. All right, so it looks good now. We have James returned for ID number 5. Let's submit that. Okay, so I passed all the test cases. Runtime 604 milliseconds, beats 74.49% of users with MySQL. I hope you like my solution, and if you like it, give me a thumbs up. And if you have any other solution, leave a comment below. Thank you so much for watching, and I see you in another video.